We're live.
Good evening, Brad and Monica. My name is John Sexton. I'm with Bedrock Home Inspections. I performed the home inspection for you today on the home here in Sumner. A couple of things I want to talk about up front. When I get home here in about an hour, I'm going to email to you both a document. It'll be in one file. There's actually two documents contained within. You can see that I've signed on the first page and I've signed on the last page. What I'll need you two to do, either one of you, not both, but either one of you, is to read through this document and respond to me with accepted and read, or read and accepted. That will suffice as your electronic signature. I'll also send you my Zelle Q code so that you can provide payment. It'll be $475 due by tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., which is when I need to get the report out to you all. So, going through the report, knowing that we're in a 1962 home, I expected that I would find some unusual things perhaps, and we did, but overall, I think you've got some work to put into the house. I think they've done some good things, but there's some things that I need you to pay attention to up front based on being safety issues. So page one, what we're looking at is the actual report in its draft form is just a cover page. Second page is an overview of the home. The third page is an important page for you two and Tiffany, and that's the summary page. So anything that falls into a safety hazard, any major concerns, major recommendations, anything not operating will be on this page. Deferred cost items, you can see that there's already something in there, and that's because your heat pump that provides your air conditioning and heat within the home on top of your furnace, for heat anyways, it is 32 years old, and so it's well beyond its life expectancy, but she is working, and you'll see that she is spitting out nice cool air. So we'll talk about what that means and what I feel you two need to do to make sure that you keep that going. The last two things on here says items to monitor and homeowner repairs, and that'll just say see body of report, because that's where you guys get to do all the fun things that homeowners get to do. The fourth page is a receipt that will be it'll say paid when you get the report. And then we're right into the exterior. I'm not going to talk about everything because not everything is going to fall into something that I think you need to worry about tonight. Your chimney's got a little bit flaking on it where we've got the flashing on the roof that directs water around it. We're starting to see some cracking and some openings in the flashing. So that, coupled with what we're about to talk about with your roof, I think it's prudent to get a roofer out here and give the two of you a sense of comfort that your roof has been looked at and blessed since it was put on back when. And I don't know when based on this type of roof.
What type of roof is it?
It's a torch down roof, and so it's overall it's in good condition. There are some areas where we've got some missing granules, and you'll see some pictures in here, and we'll talk about that. But I think it's worth knowing that it's the roof, getting somebody to take a look at. I do not see any moisture in the attic space, so I don't believe that we have any breaches in it, but we want to make sure that we stay on top of it.
Torch down's always one of those interesting ones. We don't see very many of them.
Yeah. Gutters need some repair. They're not only dirty and need to be cleaned, but the screens up top need to make sure that they're nice and tight on there. We've got some downspouts that look like they're leaking, and I want the two of you to know that the downspouts go into a drainage system buried in the ground that I do not have visibility to, nor do I inspect them. But I don't see anything in the ground that would tell me that there's anything wrong with the drainage system. In fact, it's nice and dry. The lawn is beautiful, so they've been irrigating very nicely. And if there were drainage issues, I would feel softness and mud out there with all the drainage that they've been, or all the water they've been putting on the lawn. We're now on to your siding, your trim, your caulking, all of that around the exterior of the home. You have wood exterior siding, And the leading edges of it, as you will see in many of the pictures, we're starting to see the paint degrade. Therefore, moisture is getting in there. Therefore, certainly at the bottom leading edges, we've got some frail wood that you could probably, punch a hole right through. But that's at the bottom leading edges, and that typically where we see that. So I did some moisture measuring, and you'll see that in one of the pictures where I only got 5% moisture, which is below the 20% that we start to get concerned at. So knowing that we've been as dry as we have, that doesn't surprise me. But what it tells me is you have a great opportunity to get out there to resurface the home and repaint it to put a brand new envelope of moisture protection around it. Same with the trim. The trim is just sometimes just very light wood that they use, and they don't paint it very well. And so once moisture gets in there, it starts to cause some damage. Certainly on your corners of the home where you see trim and you see some flashing, you're going to want to shore things up on the exterior of the home. So there's going to be a lot of elbow grease to do painting, sanding, etc. Not only on the siding, but the trim. Also underneath the eaves, that paint is starting to degrade. The fascias are in really poor shape, and that, unfortunately, we see that a lot. So everywhere on the corners of the home where it comes together, they never do a very good job of sealing that, and it ends up getting deteriorated over time. Can they be saved? That's going to be determined by you and or a contractor by getting up there to determine how much wood has degraded. Is there an opportunity to sand it down, get to real wood again, and then paint it to protect it? Some areas I do believe you have that opportunity, and other areas you perhaps may not. The flashing around the home looks good. Again, caulking is something that I want you to get out there with a caulking gun, and anywhere you see there once was caulking or there's a gap in the home, let's seal that up.